Morning, all. Thanks so much for joining us for this, the fourth day of Napa Arts in Care Week. We've been having live events all week, and thank you all for joining us and for anyone watching back on record. Please pop questions in the chat during the event and we'll try to answer them. And remember, please share your stories about the importance of the arts in care provision using the hashtag, and it's on the screen below. We love hearing what you're doing, and we've been absolutely delighted with the response so far. So the reason why we've gone for a week of events is that we wanted to really look at not just arts in care homes, but also arts in different kinds of care provision. And I'm very, very excited today to have our special guests, Interact Stroke Support, talking about the way they use arts in hospitals and with people living at home. So I am delighted to introduce from Interact Stroke Support, Nirjay Mahindru, to come and join us. Morning.
Good morning, and thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here. So just quickly to let everybody know what it is that we do. Interact Stroke Support are a charity that take professional actors into hospitals and reach to stroke survivors. We also work in stroke clubs as well and various other community settings. And the principal point of our work is to alleviate the depression that's so often associated with stroke, stimulate memory, stimulate language, and in the community to provide some fun to address social isolation in particular. We work in 20 hospitals nationally. We also work in approximately 35 stroke clubs. We've also developed an online platform where people can have our service virtually, which is a service called Interact at Home. And quite a few, we're now 23 years old as a charity, and quite a few years ago, where we were asked to develop a creative project, actually as part of a talk at the Royal Free. And the creative project that came from that was a small play, which went down very, very well. And various other hospitals wanted to see this particular play. The play sort of then expanded to what it is now. And that's why we thought it would be appropriate to share our play. It couldn't happen to us with you today.
Wonderful. It's our first play we've done on Facebook Live. We're very excited. So I will leave Nirjay to introduce the actors, and we're going to see a short performance. Thank you.
Again, thank you very much indeed. So our play is called It Couldn't Happen to Us. As well as myself, I will be playing the character of the husband. I have two fantastic actors with me performing the play as well. We have Georgina Armfield, who will be playing various characters throughout the play, and we also have Eleanor Rhodes, and Eleanor will be playing the wife in the piece. Now, I'm hoping that there are no sort of technical problems as we go along. This is the first time that Interact has performed this play as an online version, so I hope that everything goes okay. So please sit back and relax, and we will now start the play. It's here! It's here!
Did we get it?
Mortgage approved. The house is ours. Crack open some champagne, because we're going to have a party. Oh, we are going to have a party. Check out the moves, baby. Check out the moves.
What moves?
I taught Michael Jackson everything he knew. And it gets better. I'm taking you somewhere special as a treat. Have a guess. Go on.
Is it the Hippodrome?
No, it's better than that.
Oh my God, you booked tea at the Ritz?
No, love. It's much better than that.
Well, what then?
Ta-da!
Oh,
And
right. Great. Very thoughtful. Arsenal versus Spurs.
they're the best seats as well. It's my treat.
And we got the house. I can't believe it.
And 2 tickets to see the Gunners put those Middlesex Prats in their place. I tell you what, love, it doesn't get much better than this. I'll put an office in the new house and the business is going to boom. As what's-his-face used to say on the telly, this time next year, we'll be millionaires. Arsenal! Arsenal! Arsenal!
Brilliant. I didn't realise you could get so into a game.
Come on, let me get you one of our overpriced Emirates pies, because you get the best pies here. They're overpriced, but definitely the best. I'll tell you what, I'll get you a drink and all, but we'll have to take out a second mortgage to pay for it here.
You're right there. They're going to think you've had one too many shandies. Are you okay? It was just so fast. Truth is, well, we'd always imagined, and I know it sounds ignorant, but it's what I thought at the time. Well, you always imagine it's only the elderly.
It was like someone had drained the blood out of my legs and then filled them with lead. Suddenly, everything seemed to be going in slow motion. When I heard people talking, there was almost like an echo attached to what they said.
I could see his right arm went sort of limp. His eyes had drooped, and you could see a twitch in his cheek. His mouth was drooping too. I just didn't know what to do.
Is he all right? Are you okay there?
I don't know what's wrong with him.
Can you hear me, sir?
Why can't you hear us?
Best to say stay calm.
It was like someone decided to turn the lights off. Or like a car on a cold winter's day that just won't start no matter how many times you turn the ignition key.
What's he saying? Do you know what he's saying?
No.
Do you understand what I'm saying to you, sir? Are you able to nod your head there? Can you follow my finger with your eyes? Can you hear that?
You can hear the ignition turning over, hear it wanting to start, but nothing's happening. I could see people, but there was a mist at the edges of my vision, and the mist started turning into a blackness. The world, it was full of echoes. It was like hearing people underwater, and I was drowning. I was being drowned by my own body.
I think his vision's been affected.
Affected by what?
So there's this lead in my legs and I can't move my right arm. It simply won't obey me. I'm thinking to myself, why the hell won't this arm do as I say? Move here, will you? But my limbs seemed to be independent from me. Suddenly my body was not an ally. I was like an octopus that had lost its way.
Loads of people had gathered around us by now, throwing in their tuppence worth of advice. His fall had disturbed the queue for the pies. A group of lads started singing "Who Ate All the Pies?" I kept looking at him. Can you hear me?
Can you understand what I'm saying? Can you see these fingers?
I can hear them, and I'm thinking, there's no need to shout. Why are you shouting at me? I'm saying to them, I'm saying, can you help me up? But they can't hear me. And as every bloke knows, women always suffer from selective hearing.
We need to move him now. We're going to move you, okay? Mind his head. Watch his head. Mind he doesn't throw up or anything. Are you okay there? Ambulance is here now, so we're just going to move you.
I missed the second half of the game because of that, and Arsenal always score in the second half.
Is he breathing? Check his pulse. Keep him on his side. What's his blood group?
Oh, I don't really know.
Is he diabetic?
No, he's not.
Does he have a heart condition? Does he have high cholesterol?
Cholesterol, I'm really not sure.
Angina? What about seizures? Headaches? Does he suffer from migraines?
And on and on and on, and I realised medically, I hardly knew him at all. In the ambulance, she said the word. I'd not even thought about it. I mean, we're both young, relatively speaking.
Looks like a stroke to me.
A stroke at his age?
Is he currently on any medication? Is he allergic to anything? We'll need permission to carry emergency medical procedures if necessary.
Oh, the sound of the siren, it was giving me a headache. My head really hurt. It was like, well, I imagined the inside of my head and I saw the arteries as elastic bands. A couple of them, wrought tight, must have suddenly snapped. That's how I saw it. And that bloody siren, on and on and on and on.
This might be a TIA,
What's that?
a mini stroke, where the symptoms last for about 24 hours.
So this is just temporary?
Has he had anything like this before?
No, but these TIA things, they're just temporary.
We'll be at the hospital soon.
My mother always said, wear a fresh pair of underpants every day. You never know, son. You never know. And she was right. It's a good job I listened to her.
Is he going to be all right?
Difficult to say at this point.
What's happened to his face?
The droop is a characteristic of a stroke, but we won't be certain until we've done some tests.
Can he see us? Has he gone blind? Why can't he hear us? Can he understand what we're saying?
This is the critical time for him now.
Critical time. Why? What's going to happen to him? Is he going to be a vegetable in a wheelchair, paralysed? Is he going to live?
Once he's out of the hyperacute ward, we'll be in a better position to answer all those questions. What's your name?
That was the worst bit. What was my name? I lay there and it dawned on me. I couldn't answer her question.
What's your name?
I went in to see him most days, but after a while, well, you just run out of things to say. I'd smile, he'd try and smile back, I think. It was just so depressing. The doctors didn't give much hope.
Limited nerve and muscle plasticity, poor motor arm and leg motion, or there's a severe limb ataxia indicative of the presence of a unilateral cerebellar lesion.
She might as well have been speaking Chinese. I don't know if they taught people skills at medical school, but then she said something and it was just chilling, and I was left speechless.
Prepare for the worst. Anything else is a bonus.
I could see fear in his eyes. He was trying his best to speak.
Can you understand what I'm saying?
Slow down, you're not making sense.
But my mind's fine. Can you understand me?
I know you can hear me.
Am I not speaking English?
Oh, Doctor, I was just wondering,
Sorry, speak to the ward manager.
Doctor, what are the chances that he's going to
Can you
make
wait for the ward round?
I know they're busy, I get that. But you just feel helpless, totally helpless. They shouldn't call it a stroke. They should call it a brain attack. Then people would understand it straight away. Brain attack, brain attack. Because with a heart attack, the intervention is rapid and concentrated. It's very frustrating. It just all seems to be random gobbledygook. He hasn't spoken to me for weeks now.
That's because I don't want to interrupt you, love.
Hopefully things will improve with time.
Hello? Hello? Can you hear me now? I've got a joke for you.
Just smile. It's really encouraging.
Oh, how about this then? 3 little old ladies are sitting on a park bench when along comes the local flasher who shows them the full waxworks. The first lady has a huge stroke. The second lady has a little stroke. And the third old lady would have had a stroke, but her arms weren't quite long enough.
You see? Now he's laughing for no reason, like a child. I've got a life to lead, and look at him, laughing for no reason. He's in his own little world. Where the hell do I start with all of this? Someone tell me how I'm meant to get my head around all of this. It's like an adult baby. Who's there to help with adult babies, please?
If he smokes, he'll have to give up.
Pardon? Is smoking bad for you? Gosh, I just thought it was one of the leading causes of statistics.
Alcohol, well, now he'll have to be careful. 1 to 2 units a day maximum for him.
Not one man in those beer commercials has a belly. Not one.
It's important for him to eat a balanced diet, including fruit and vegetables.
Hello? Hello? Testing, testing, testing. 1, 2, 3.
Diet from now on will be critical.
When Tweedledum and Tweedledee can finally understand me, I'm going to ask them to translate the words fruit and vegetables to me. I mean, it isn't green stuff for rabbits. No man is lonely while eating spaghetti. Let me tell you that.
You have to keep in shape, take more exercise, be more active.
No more pies then.
Are they having a laugh? I am in shape. Round is a shape. Besides, my body and my fat are really good friends.
No more processed food.
See? Something set him off again.
Listen, love, my wife dresses to kill and she cooks the same way.
It's the salt in the processed foods, you see. You have to cut it back, and he'll have to check his blood pressure regularly. You know, if more people had their blood pressure checked on a regular basis, it would drastically reduce the amount of strokes in this country.
I'm not blaming him, but I wonder sometimes if he'd taken a bit more care of himself, whether he could have avoided the stroke. I mean, there's nothing wrong with looking after yourself.
Oh, thanks a bunch. Sometimes I think I understand everything. Then I wake up.
Don't be too hard on him. Every 5 minutes, someone in the UK has a stroke. Every 5 minutes. You're not alone. Rehabilitation will involve a team of experts, professionals that will advise you. Life's going to be different, but the main thing is day-to-day management.
So we've joined the 5-minute club then, eh?
I've never been so frightened. I've never been so bloody frightened. I saw myself in the mirror. It was like looking at the shell And I wonder if part of my soul has died. More, please. Oh, more.
All right. Now, as you like cats, I'm going to read you this one. You'll love it. A cat died and went to heaven. God said, "You've been a good cat all your life. Is there anything you desire?" The cat said, "I always had to sleep on a hard floor, so a pillow would be nice." So God gave the cat a soft pillow. The following day, 6 mice died and went to heaven. God said, "You've been good mice. Is there anything you desire?" They said, "We always had to run everywhere, either from people or cats. So a pair of roller skates to get around heaven would be great." So God provided each mouse with a little pair of roller skates. A week or so later, God thought he'd check up on the cat. "Is everything okay?" God said. "Oh, I've never been happier," replied the cat. "This pillow is so comfortable, and those meals on wheels you've been sending over are simply divine."
Yes.
They're amazing, aren't they? I love cats.
Yes. Cats, yes.
Have you got a cat?
Yes, me, we cats.
What's it called?
Titi.
Titi. That's a nice name.
Titi.
Titi is very...
No, Titi hen.
The hairy hen. Does it chase hens?
No, goal. Arsenal goal. Titi.
Something to do with football?
Yes, yeah. My cat is called Thierry Henry.
Wow. You just said a complete sentence there. That's brilliant. Arsenal, eh? Aren't they a load of rubbish these days?
I beg your pardon.
Arsenal.
This is good food for the brain.
Oh, it's a pleasure. Here's one just for you. What do you call a blind dinosaur? You like this? Do you think he saw us?
Suddenly he was stimulated, awakened. He was smiling again. I couldn't believe it, and neither could the doctors. They'd not held much hope for him. And there he was, chatting away, laughing. It gave me some respite and gave us both something new to talk about. They came regularly. Gradually, his speech came back.
I tell you, see you. Well, West Enders. West Enders. No, street. Cat on roof. Street. Ginger cat and woman in curlers. Cats. Sleepy cat like Thierry Henry and chimneys. And all those people from the north.
I read that almost a third of stroke survivors make almost a full recovery. And I thought, that's not bad odds. Not bad odds at all things considered.
I couldn't wait to get home.
I was dreading it. I could see what the future held, and my fears were justified. Hospital professionals need to be more honest about just why people are being discharged, because you get the impression.
Early support discharge is good for stroke survivors. They enjoy being at home with food they're used to, people that care for them, and that psychological comfort helps with their rehab. We'll visit, of course, to make sure everything's okay.
Are you sure he's ready?
Early support discharge is the way forward now. Much better all round if rehab occurs within the community.
But I look back now and I wonder if hospitals want to get people out as quick as possible so that social services are left with the burden. The quicker they leave the hospital, the less resources they've spent, or maybe I've just become a complete cynic.
Hospitals were never designed for long-term stay. That's not what they're for. It's as simple as that. How we determine discharge these days, oh, well, let's not open a can of worms, shall we?
Are we going to have to bring things in like a stair lift?
No. But it might be worth placing a safety gate at the top of the stairs.
You mean like ones for toddlers?
Just as a precaution. The main thing that he gets used to walking with his stick. Occupational and speech therapy will come visit.
Oh, great. That'll really help.
Yes. We'll come for 6 weeks.
What? 6 weeks? Is that all?
Well, 6 weeks is standard.
6 weeks? What about me? Where do I come in all of this mess? Because I'm guessing after 6 weeks, I'm the occupational speech therapist, nurse and carer, all rolled into one at little cost to Her Majesty's government. And I'm just being taken for granted.
Of course, some people, and I don't know your economic circumstances, but some people do opt for more care via the private sector.
Well, some people have maids and butlers and Ferraris and holidays in the Bahamas. There must be thousands and thousands of people like me. There must be. People in permanent worry mode mixed in with confusion just for good measure.
He'll also have a 6-month GP review.
I see. I know this sounds, I don't know whether you get this all the time, but the thing is, I really don't think I can be a carer. You know, drop my life and be a carer. I keep on seeing wheelchairs in my mind and being put on hold by social services. I'm just finding things a little bit difficult.
We also offer a 12-month GP review.
As time went on, it dawned on us that he wasn't going to be the same person he was before his stroke. And when that happened, he just started rambling. Well, things started to get a bit difficult. Even the occupational therapist saw it.
Cup.
He seems to want a cup of something. Is that a cup of tea?
No, cup means open the window, he's hot.
Oh.
Need.
Oh, you've got to be bloody kidding me. You've just been.
What's this he wants?
Need.
It better not be a number 2. I'm telling you that right now.
Two.
Oh, for God's sake. Do you want to while you're here?
Oh.
The tension was just building and building. After a few months, his speech really came on, but that didn't help the tension between us. And finally...
Oh, standing... Bloody halo! Halo on head. Don't think a bloody halo on head.
I'm trying my best here. I'm sorry if that's not good enough.
How's your brain, eh? Baseball head then, eh? Hey, that's my head.
Is it my fault? Well, am I to blame?
Where's my physio? Where is it?
Oh, shut up with your rambling nonsense.
I'm a physio. You see, it's your fault. I only 6 weeks physio. It's your fault. I've had more physio.
Please just
more
shut
physio.
up. Shut up. Just shut up.
You're cold to me now. Cold. You're cold. It proves marriage is just expensive way to get the laundry done.
The paralysis is a problem, but it's the fear of losing memory and language. The fear of being all there in the mind, but having a body that, well, I did my research and I found out there was a stroke club not too far from us. It'll be an opportunity to meet other stroke survivors. What do you think?
No.
A chance to share experiences. Come on, darling, it'll be a chance to make some new friends.
No, people laugh at me, think I'm stupid.
Oh, they've all had strokes, just like you.
I don't want people laughing at me.
Stop being so negative all the time. What's wrong with making new friends? Meeting people that have gone through what you've been through. I'm trying to help you here, trying to find something that you might enjoy, trying to get something positive. You've got to work with me on this. It's a two-way street.
Stroke club? I've never heard of stroke club.
You need to be socializing, getting out and about, meeting people. You said those actors at the hospital were good food for your brain. That's what you said.
That's because they haven't suffered a compassion bypass.
Well, they read at the stroke club too. How about that?
Oh, do they?
They do indeed. So what's the harm in joining in? Making new friends.
Oh, well, what about the friends that I already have? Where have they gone?
To start off with, I'll come along too. And then when you get used to it, well, it'll give me a chance to do some shopping and stuff. Joining this stroke club will really change things. Please, hon, it'll be good for both of us.
I see. Well, I'll think about it.
He kept on making excuses, though. To be fair to him, his memory wasn't all there. He was getting more and more socially isolated and more stubborn. I'm sure if he'd joined the stroke club, things would have been different. He could have made friends. But he just kept on withdrawing, and the worrying thing was he was taking me with him. And that's what led to the decision. Listen, love. We're going to have to sell the house.
I don't want to.
We're going to have to help you.
No.
It's for you.
No.
Because the place I've found for you, it's got everything for you. Proper wet room, people on site. So we need to sell the house to pay the rent.
But this is my home. With you, this is home. Home. You, me.
It's better. You'll get professional service. I'll downsize to a small flat and I'll come and visit.
But the light's going out. Have you met someone else?
What?
Someone that's whole.
It's for your own good. Professional people on site to help you. I can't.
Have you met someone else?
I just want what's best for you. That's all.
Well, what's best for me? No.
Selling our home for care. That's the state we're in. That's the state we live in. I thought maybe the National Health Service, maybe that phrase, free at the point of need, maybe that included him, but apparently not. once you're discharged, well, you're basically on your own. It's like you have to pay for dental costs and pay for eye tests and glasses and pay for care. It's not really an NHS if you have to sell your home for care, is it? That's what it's come to. And you know, I honestly thought, naively, it couldn't happen to us.
And that's the end of our play. Thank you very much.
Sorry, I forgot to unmute myself there. I was so lost in your performance. That was amazing. And it really came across really well. Thank you so much. It was so powerful. And I think the first thing I wanted to say is just something we haven't talked so much about, but actually the power of art to put across really important messages. I mean, it was very informative. You know, I learned a lot, but it's so moving. And I think from what felt like, you know, really honest lived experience, you really connect with that, and really wonderful. I have to say, my dad has had a stroke, so I found that very, very powerful. I'd like to talk a little bit more about your work. One of the things that came across to me in that play, but also from my own experiences, how important physio and the sort of speech therapy, the things that you do immediately afterwards are to someone that's had a stroke. And I know that the work of Interact Stroke Support is all about that. Can you tell us a little bit more about the way that actors work with people, either in hospitals or the work that you do with people living at home?
Well, if I kick off, I think certainly with regards to working with people in hospitals, I would say that one of the most important things in having an interaction with a stroke survivor is to deliver stories and material that are of interest to the stroke survivor themselves. So, for example, I'll just pick Georgina because she's next to me on the screen. But if I was reading to Georgina in a hospital, I would want to know who the human being is in front of me. What are Georgina's likes and dislikes? Now, in conversation with me, Georgina might say something like, "Oh, you know, I'm really upset being in this hospital because I'm going to miss my dog," or, you know, my partner and I have been learning the tango every Thursday, and I'm going to be missing that. And a good Interact reader is making mental notes about what the stroke survivor is saying to them, and thinking, right, this person really likes dogs. They like dancing. And based on that, they will try to deliver stories and material that would be of interest to that particular person. I've always felt that that is really, really important, rather than Interact actors simply plonking themselves down in front of a stroke survivor and going, "Here's my Hamlet for you." when the recipient might not be interested in Shakespeare. We're interested in Shakespeare because we're theatre people. But that doesn't mean to say that the person sitting opposite us is going to be interested in that. So that idea of what is the best way to stimulate this person is predicated on, well, what are the interests of that person? So that would be my take on it. I you know, Georgina and Eleanor have been in the hospitals. Maybe they would like to, you know, share their experiences in relation to that.
Yeah, it's a very special thing, I think, when you land on a person's interests. I've had people I've read to where I know that they adore Shakespeare, so I've just read back-to-back sonnets and monologues to them, and they at times by the end were saying the words along with me. I've also had a delightful man who hadn't said anything for a week, and then I somehow found out he liked Dickens by reading him lots of things and talking to him or trying to talk to him about things, and then we ended up reading back-to-back pages of Great Expectations, and then he spoke for the first time in a week. So it is about finding the right thing to unlock, and also not reading something that they totally wouldn't be interested in. Sometimes you say, "Are you into crime?" and they say no, and you're like, "Well, I won't be reading you crime." So yeah, it's carving that way together to find out how we're going to spend our time together.
Yeah, because I think if you can get something that really they're quite passionate about, that really encourages them to speak as well, and that's great. And we've got the time to sit there and listen and wait for them to get the words out, and I think that can be really useful for the patients as well, and the doctors, because they don't always have time to. Obviously, some of the speech therapists are there to do that, but for the rest of the 24 hours or whatever in between the visits that the speech therapists have, it's great for them to be able to express themselves, I think, to us.
So sometimes,
Sorry, I just wanted to say that's come across quite a few in the events this week, the importance of time and really being with someone, being in the moment with someone. Sorry, Nerjay. Yeah.
No, I was just going to add on to what Georgina and Eleanor had said, which is that sometimes people are triggered by a memory which has nothing to do with the story that maybe Georgina or Eleanor might have been reading to the stroke survivor, and suddenly they're triggered by a memory of childhood sweets, for example, and they start talking about childhood sweets, and this is the reason why Interact only use professional actors. Because I always say to actors, if you happen to be reading a story to somebody because you'd found out that they liked guitars like I do, or so you're reading them a Jimi Hendrix story, and suddenly that particular stroke survivor is stimulated to talk about their childhood sweets, use your professional skills as an actor to go down that journey with them and explore that. Tell them about the childhood sweets you loved when you were a kid growing up. But it's one of the reasons people often say to us, why is it that you use professional actors? And it's because they have a particular skill set that is really, really suited to extracting these type of speech and language elements from the stroke survivor while they're in the hospital setting.
I just want to quickly pick up on that, and then we'll see if there are any questions from the audience. But I'm interested to talk to you as actors, just to hear a little bit, and we don't have long, but a little bit about what you get from this work. You're obviously doing other stuff, but the work that you do with Stroke Interact support and the work in hospitals and with people at home or stroke centres, you as an actor, what do you get from that, and as a person? Georgina?
I think for me, I love going into the hospital, going tomorrow morning. It's, if I'm able to put a smile on someone's face and have a connection with someone, you sort of read to quite a lot of different people within your kind of session, but it's such an amazing thing if you're able to trigger speech or trigger memory, or even just put a massive smile on someone's face that hasn't smiled all day. I find that you discover such amazing things from the stroke survivors about their lives. Had some incredible conversations with incredible people about what amazing lives they've led. So I feel I'm learning as much from them all the time, every time I go in. So for me, it's hugely enriching how you can connect with someone you've never met before through a story, and then learn their story as a result. So for me, that's what makes it really special.
Wonderful. Eleanor, do you have anything to add as well?
I think I totally agree. I think it's the stories I hear from the patients that are so fantastic. I love the challenge of it. It can be quite challenging with the noises on the ward and things like that. But I mean, as an actor, I don't know that I get much from it as an actor, but from as a person, you're meeting people at the worst time in their lives, and to be able to, as Georgina said, just brighten up that moment for just a moment, to be able to transport them out of the hospital and somewhere else where and that's supposed to be very empowering as well for them, that when they come back they can deal with what's in front of them, because they've had that moment of just not worrying about it. That's what hope I bring to the thing.
Thank you so much. I think, shall we see if there are any questions? We're going to share some links to Interact Stroke Support's work. There's a brilliant film there, and we'll share them in the chat, and also I'll share them in social media. But there's just a quick question before we go. You know, we're talking to lots of people working in the field of arts and health and doing things in care settings in hospitals. Is there anything to help you develop your work, and so that you can take the work you do to more people? Maybe this one's for Nerje. I don't know. Is there something that you think would help you to expand the work you're doing and take it to more people?
Well, the boring answer to that obviously is predicated on funding.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, garnering further income streams so that we are able to look at how we bring creativity into our practice further, particularly post-hospital discharge. Let me give you an example of one of the things that we were doing pre-COVID and pre the national lockdowns. We've developed projects in the community setting where we were working with groups of stroke survivors. And the idea was that they would work with 2 actors each week on an artistic project of their choice. So in other words, it was totally up to the group what they wanted to do. And so, you know, a group might say, well, we want to do EastEnders for the radio. And the role of the actors was to help facilitate the creativity of these various people, rather than show off the skills of the actors that themselves. And the purpose of that was so that people could use their own creativity and use that to develop their own confidence, particularly after hospital discharge. And hopefully that might help them to reintegrate back into society in a far more fulfilling way, because so many people suffer from social isolation. And we found that there were a variety of projects that people wanted to do. You know, some groups said, well, we don't want to do any acting at all. We want to tell you what we did during World War II. And so that project became an oral history project. There was another group who said, we want to do our version of Desert Island Discs. And so, of course, that each individual person, we sourced music that meant a lot to each individual person and developed that project. We had a group who said, we want to do a radio play. So there were a wide variety of artistic projects that were occurring, and I'd very much like to follow people along the integrated care pathway, so that we're not only working with them in the hospital setting, working with them possibly in a stroke club if they happen to go there, but then also working with them in a project of their choosing, where we can help facilitate their own creativity in the community setting. But you know, that's the ideal scenario, but it is predicated on further income streams coming our way.
Absolutely, absolutely. I want to thank you all so much. It's been really moving, informative. I know it's been quite hard hitting, so for people out there, hope, you know, if any of you've been affected by it, I hope you're okay. But I think it's really important that we talk about these things honestly, because it certainly rang true with my own experience from my dad. Please find out more about Interact Stroke Support's work. It's, you know, we've only touched the surface. And personally, on a personal level, a lot of NAPA's members are care homes, and I've done some wonderful drama projects in care homes, and I would love to see more of it. You know, it's a really wonderful art form, and you see that by hearing or being part of a performance, how it brings things alive. It's really, really so powerful. So thank you all very, very much. We'll follow all the wonderful work you do, and everyone watching, do go and take a look at their Facebook page and their website. So thanks everyone out there watching. Hope you enjoyed it, and see you tomorrow for our 5th event. Bye.